Hey guys, this is me, Arthur, and you are watching How to Draw Creepy Creatures. Now, as you probably know, this month of November on my show, I'm going to be doing all Native American creatures in honor of Thanksgiving. And yesterday we did the Horsewoman, which is a Nevada legend. And while I was doing research for this, I accidentally came across something else from the same area called the Water Babies, or the Water Babies of Pyramid Lake. Now, I only recently found out about this, so if you're like me and you had no idea what this was before, Pyramid Lake is located on a reservation in Nevada, and even though it's a beautiful place, big tourist industry there, it has somewhat of a sinister reputation because uh, a very long time ago, back when you had Native American populations living in the desert and they didn't have a lot of access to food or medication, if they had a baby that was deformed or sick and couldn't contribute to the community, they would deem that child as a burden and they would drop them in this lake to be drowned. It was a way of getting rid of unwanted children. And as a result, there's a rather unsettling legend around that lake called the Water Babies. And as you can probably imagine, they're ghostly or spectral babies that lure people to the edge of the water with their screams and drown them. The thing is that there's been a number of unexplained deaths and disappearances in the lake. Sometimes the bodies are never found, which is in accordance with the legend because apparently the water babies eat them. And there's been a lot of legends and folklore that's kind of built up around this. In some versions of the story, the water babies aren't spirits, but they are they are physical beings that came from the children, kind of like they zombified and mutated and turned into these horrible mermaid-like creatures, very similar to the Rushalsky legends from Russia. And in fact, in some versions of the story, the water babies have a queen who was a mermaid that a Native American man found and brought and took her to land to be his bride, but his people were horrified by him kidnapping her and told him to release her back into the water. So he released her into Pyramid Lake, where she was forever kept away from the sea. And so she became angry by stealing these people's children and turning them into these monsters. So it's pretty weird and freaky. Let's get into it. Now, I'm actually going to be doing like a couple of them because these things are supposed to move in packs. Alright, now remember, infants and toddlers, they kind of have these long, like these large heads that seem a little bit too big for their bodies. So that's what we're going to do. In fact, what I like about this is that they're not strictly described as ghost babies. In some versions of the story, they have mermaids' tails. Other versions, they're described as reptilian, like frog-like. So I'm just going to use the basic outline of a baby and build from there, kind of with my creature design. Kind of have them rising out of the murky depths. Okay. Now remember, when you're drawing a child, the eyes are a little bit bigger in proportion to the head. In fact, even though it's creepy, you might want to look up a baby's skull so that you can get an idea of what the proportions are supposed to be. I kind of like the idea of making these kids a little bit more reptilian because kind of like these reptile or fish monsters, because I feel like if I did it as a zombie kid, that would be kind of like upsetting and horrifying. So not like fun, scary, just freaky. So I think like making them evil mer babies is more fun. Okay. Okay, so let's. Kind of like these skinny, emaciated frog-like limbs. I know that they're not very detailed now, but we'll get into that later. We're just drawing the basic outline. Right, that's what we got so far. Now, let's add a little bit more detail. Let's work on the face first. Alright, for the eyes, I was thinking like kind of making them like white, hollow, zombie-like. Give it a little button nose so that it's cute and terrifying at the same time. Okay. Kind of draw that seam that you see in children's heads, like their craniums. Kind of give it sharp teeth. I kind of imagine like stringy clumps of hair. Like it's almost bald, but not quite. In fact, I feel like it should be reaching for you. I kind of imagine it should be like reaching for you almost in a very menacing kind of way. So just draw a very basic outline of a hand. kind of imagine it with like webbed feet. Another interesting part of this legend is that even though they'll go after anybody who swims in Pyramid Lake after dark, every year they'll take one white male. Yeah, they'll take one white male. The reason why is that according to the legend, they blame the white man for coming into Nevada and taking all the resources from the native people. So they blame them for essentially creating the conditions that led to them being dropped in the lake. So they take out their anger nowadays on any white male they can get to. They'll do anything they can to lure a white male at least once a year to the lake and kill one. So, pretty creepy. And I certainly know that I am not swimming there now. Nope. Okay. Let's. Alright. In fact, I feel like we should add something like it had leftover clothes. They're just like torn, raggedy, floating through the water. Okay, that's what we got so far. Now, let's work on the others. kind of like to give them individual features so they don't all look the same. Gotta do some variations with like the clothes. Kind of gonna do like a dress around this one. Okay. Okay. kind of give it a bit more wrinkles around here. All right. Kind of do like dirty, torn fringe on his outfit. Let's start with the shading a little bit. Okay, let's add some bubbles. Kind of suggest that this is underwater. Alright, sign off with your artist mark. And you have just drawn the water babies. Geez, I am probably going to have nightmares after doing this episode. Alright, like, share, and subscribe. And remember, the month of November is Native American month. However, if you have any creatures, Native American or otherwise, that you would like me to teach you how to draw, just leave it in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you. Also, anybody who completed a lesson on the show and would like to show off their work, you can send it to me at arthurwrotethis@gmail.com. And as long as you include your written permission in the email, I will show off on the show with your name so everybody knows that you did it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and happy Thanksgiving.